to church with Bo. Now, I took a week off, and a lot has happened. I believe a few more planes crashed. The videos of people crawling out of that plane that crashed I think it was in Toronto, somewhere in Canada, but it was a Delta plane. Insane. If you haven't seen it, you could just look up Delta plane crash, Toronto. You just see, it's from the perspective of, it was like a POV, like a person just turned their camera on and they're, crawling out, and, the stewardesses are, pushing people out of the door because, the plane flipped upside down and caught fire in the back, but I guess it didn't reach the cabin, thankfully. I don't know. I think it said that everybody was alive. Only, 4 people got sent to the hospital at all. And I just saw an article saying, yes, Delta offering $30,000 to passengers who were on plane that crash landed in Toronto. Burst into flames upon landing and flipped upside down. Honestly, 30,000 is not enough. 30,000 is not enough. But obviously, still, it's got to be better than, if a Ryanair plane crashed or Frontier. They're not going to offer you 30,000. It's not looking good for that. Maybe if you crashed on a Virgin Airlines plane, they seem like they might have it together. I don't know. I pray nothing like that on any of my listeners or myself, and I wish the people of this Toronto crash, who seem to all be okay or healing well. I mean, it's ridiculous. I saw another post that said over 80 plane crashes have happened since the start of 2025. And 4 before this one, this was the 5th. Now 5 have been commercial flights. 2 of which were, in America, technically. I think there was one in Brazil or something, in South America too, but 1 in DC and now 1 in Toronto. Toronto's basically New York. It's right up there. I mean, I don't know. Clearly, if, planes are just malfunctioning or all these random things are happening, it could just be bad luck or a bad year for flight. I don't know. But it's too many planes. There's too many planes going down. And, the government could always be trying to advertise plane crashes more than they have before. It might be, this might have happened in the past few years, but it wasn't anywhere on the news and we weren't seeing as much about it, or the information might have been getting properly suppressed. I don't know. But from what I'm seeing, it's been a lot of plane crashes. A lot. Delta Airlines offering passengers $30,000 apiece. It was not immediately clear how passengers can claim their money, but if all 76 passengers take Delta up on its offer, it will have to fork over nearly $2.3 million in total. Fork over. Fuck you, Delta. What are you talking about, fork over? 2.3 should be butter on a piece of bread in the morning for the CEOs at Delta. What are you talking about? They should be so thankful they can get away with so little. 30,000? is that 30,000 going to be taxed now too? So really they'll get like 15,000? I don't know. Just seems shady, and I don't trust these major corporations. Delta Care Team representatives are telling customers that the offer has no strings attached and does not affect rights. The airplane burst into flames upon landing and flipped upside down. I'm trying to see if there's any, reason listed for why this happened, because from the video, if you watch, it looks like the plane's coming in hot for a landing or something. I guess maybe the runway was too icy. I don't know. But the tires almost like just touched down, and then just like something happened. It looked like a car skidding out. And I don't know if a pair of like the tires that were supposed to go down fell or what and broke, but the plane ended up sliding and flipping. The CRJ-900 was carrying 76 passengers and 4 crew members who were left dangling from their seatbelts when the smoking plane came to a stop. Luckily, it was like snowy and really cold outside, so, it wasn't too a preferable condition for a fire. And they had big trucks shooting water and snow and shit on them immediately. There were no deaths. The 21 people were injured and taken to hospitals. 21 out of 76. It's insane. Flint, a Toronto person, someone from Toronto, said, although wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour were reported at the time of the crash, 2 storms dumped nearly 2 feet of snow on the airport in the days leading up to the crash. But no snow was reported on the radar at the time of the accident. Flint warned against speculation and declined to answer questions about the conditions of the runway. Basically, blaming the pilots, because that's what I'm wondering. Is there someone to blame for this? Was it just faulty equipment? I don't know. With planes, it's usually somebody to point a finger at in these types of situations. Wow, yeah, that story really caught my eye. Sorry. We just got right into it, If you're with me still, I appreciate you, and I will do my best. My album dropped last week. I had a couple technical issues. I was uploading it, and then I would listen back to it again the next day after I uploaded it and be like, man, I need to do this. Man, I need to do this. And I refucked with the whole album a couple times, but I'm kind of happy with how it came out. Please go check it out. It is 2025 by BB Angel on all platforms, YouTube, whatever, Jabber, and there's like a bunch, almost every platform, I believe. And on Apple Music, if you can't find us, we're at Baja Bo on there still. I don't know why. Apple Music is finicky. Took them a while to update Kanye's name from Kanye to Ye and so forth, but when I changed my name from Baja Bo to BB Angel, it said on DistroKid that it would change it automatically and, submit the right forms for change to all the major streaming platforms. But for some reason, I don't know why, it fucked me on Apple. Apple's instead has stayed exactly the same. Old faithful, They're keeping me true to my roots. Although the BB in BB Angel is stands for Baja Bo, I just condensed and added on to it a little bit. But we can get into that another time. Check out the album. I appreciate it. It's doing great. I'm working on making a video for at least one of the songs. Just trying to put together locations and stuff, but stay tuned. I hope you had a good week. I hope everything is going all of y'all's way. We talk about a lot of crazy stuff and shit we see in the news and hear about and UFOs and all that. But at the end of the day, don't let it really ruin your day. I do this stuff because to me, this is the real comedy. News and basic events have gotten so wild and outlandish since we can look at so many micro cases around the world all the time that this shit is ridiculous. Like, you couldn't make stuff up that is this ridiculous a lot of the times, $30,000. But I appreciate all of you bearing with the comedy and trying to find your own in it. So in other news, I don't know if you guys have heard, there's been killings across 3 states by a cult-like group that calls themselves the Zizian Group. The Z-I-Z-I, the ZZs. And one of their leaders' name is, they call him the Ziz. And I recently figured out that one of these Ziz kids who got arrested with, I think 2 of the main ones, and I think they're pinning a lot of these homicides on, it's like some crazy fringe nerdy kid cult group from what I can tell. I haven't really looked deep into them besides like an article. And this nerdy cult group is, I guess, formed on like 4chan or some kind of internet shit. I don't know if they had Discord or, what method of communication these people grouped up through. But they grouped up, and this kid from a town over where I'm from, Vallejo, decided that he was moving. I think he moved to like Utah at first, and then he got introduced to the cult, and they were in Maryland for like most of the shit that was going on. But yeah, super crazy. The kid was literally fucking 10-minute drive from where I was from. Yeah, they killed a border patrol agent. They were up by the Canadian border at some point. I did hear about this. The killing of U.S. border agent David Molland near the Canadian border in January, and 5 other homicides in Vermont, Pennsylvania, and California have been tied to a cult-like group known as the Zizians. The group, described as a fringe group of radical Berkeley pseudo-intellectuals. I guess they might have met at Berkeley. But one of the kids was the kid that I'm talking about that was close to where I'm from. He was born in Berkeley and grew up in Vallejo. So I don't know why they're trying to attach it all to Berkeley. Is believed to be behind the double homicide of a wealthy Pennsylvania couple, 2 knife attacks on a landlord in California, and the shootout in Vermont that left 1 member dead. Insanity. The Zizians need to be stopped. Zizzy Simones. What we know about the Zizians. Jack LaSoda, 34, who allegedly leads a group of a few dozen followers known as Zizians, was arrested on Saturday alongside Michelle Zyko, I think that's the Ziz, 32, and Daniel Blank from Vallejo, on charges including trespassing and obstruction. Authorities say they are investigating at least 6 killings across the U.S. that are allegedly connected to the members. A knife attack in California, as well as the double homicide. Wow. There's a picture of Jack LaSoda at the top, and let me tell you, he is not a looker. He looks like, what's that bad guy in, not kind of like the bad guy in Spider-Man, you know, Harry's dad, the Goblin. He kind of looks like a young version of that guy. But also, yeah, like a young Willem Dafoe. For sure, a young Willem Dafoe. LaSoda, a transgender woman, is allegedly the leader of the group. Earned a degree in computer science from the University of Alaska Fairbanks in 2013 and moved to San Francisco 3 years later. Had a brief internship with NASA, and then began to associate with people involved in the rational movement, popular trend in Silicon Valley. Oh no, LaSoda began blogging using the alias Ziz, the notorious Ziz, but soon fell out with mainstream rationalists. The blog included posts of thousands of words. Yeah, so clearly it was just some freak bullshit started by the Ziz. I saw a video or some video and pictures of the old man in California who they beat up. And it was just some landlord who I guess wasn't trying to let them stay somewhere. And they stabbed him 50 times. The second time, they attacked him once and they got his eye, and then the second time they stabbed him 50 times, I believe. Insane. Oh yeah, and one of the times the old man, OG, respect, he fired a gun which he had on him trying to defend himself, and he killed Emma Borhanian, a former Google employee, who was one of the Zizians. Yeah, these Silicon Valley fringe groups are insane, you know. A lot of them have high-end degrees and stuff, and they know how to research shit and make shit happen, and they do stupid shit like this. Well, in other news, Diddy's lawyer quits and says under no circumstances can I continue. Mind you, this lawyer is also the same lawyer who defended Osama bin Laden, I believe it was, versus the United States. And he had circumstances to continue there. But here, under no circumstances will I continue. Can I continue? So it makes you wonder, what did they show him? What is on the table that hasn't been on the table up until now that he's oh my God, no, this is not going to do. Not only can I not continue taking your money and offering legal counsel, but I don't want my name anywhere near this. Crazy. Rico was one of 6 defense attorneys for Diddy. He said under no circumstances can I continue to effectively serve as counsel for Sean Combs? And apparently filed a motion in court to withdraw himself without much of an explanation. He added, "It is respectfully but regrettably requested that the court grant the relief requested." Rico won't be removed until a judge approves it, but he claims there are sufficient reasons for the brevity in his application for withdrawal. See, so they don't even want to say anything. He's just trying to step back into the shadows and apologize for, making any noise. Which is crazy. I mean, he defended Osama. So it's got to be some, if I had to guess, Epstein level shit going on in there. Maybe he found out that they were also involved in like some sort of child trafficking. And did he put it as a hypothetical? What if hypothetically they were to discover that maybe I could possibly be, type of situation? But more to come. Honestly, I think I've said this before already, but I don't think anything will come of this case. Look what happened to Ghislaine Maxwell. That lady is comfortable, sitting pretty, locked up, but she didn't have to talk. She hasn't been put in front of no grand jury or, the cameras and eyes of the world or anything. I don't think she even had to, nothing has come out, no information. She just, did the crime and did her time like a G. Trump wished her well, and well she has gotten, apparently. And not to say that, her circumstances aren't fucked or whatever, but what she did was fucked, and the fact that she knows and was there for all of it, and we're not getting any of that, is fucked. I mean, obviously, the CIA or whatever interrogating bodies needed it probably got a lot of information out of her and, came to the conclusion that we can't be releasing this information. It'll destroy the country. It'll blah, blah, blah. So, it is what it is. All we can do is pray and, hope they change. Better hope and pray they change and keep watching the news, stay alive, and like Cat Williams said, all lies will be exposed. Grand jury recommends Alabama Police Department be immediately abolished. An Alabama grand jury has recommended that a city's police department be immediately abolished, finding there is a rampant culture of corruption, officials said Wednesday, while announcing the indictment of 5 of the agency's officers. 5 Huntsville police officers were arrested and charged amid a probe into the department. This is a sad day for law enforcement, but at the same time, it is a good day for the rule of law, Crocker said. What did they do? Failed to account for, preserve, and maintain evidence, and in doing so, has failed crime victims and the public at large. Damn, they were hiding evidence and, kind of running their own precinct. Negligence, lack of procedure, general incompetence, and disregard for human life. Wow. Unfettered access that a lot of people had to the evidence room is the basis of the grand jury's finding. Oh my God, they were robbing the evidence lockers. Like, they had to put in the evidence locker to get the guy arrested, and for what? for whatever they found. And then after the arrest and it was all over, they were caught, going back in there and sneaking samples? Jesus. Crocker said nothing was secure about the evidence room. And when Mr. Willingham was discovered, there was evidence in his office. Jesus Christ. Yeah. So, looks like there's going to be a couple new officers and sheriffs in the Alabama Police Department. I don't know if they can abolish it, but they might be able to, make them rehire. I don't know. I'm not into law enforcement, but I don't think they'll abolish it. Full abolishment would just mean, rule of the people, and that gets dicey. In final news, and wrapping this up for y'all, the Social Security head steps down over Doge access of recipient information. Wow. Acting commissioner has stepped down from her role at the agency over the Department of Government Efficiency request to access Social Security information, according to two people familiar with it who are not authorized to discuss the matter. After more than 30 years of service, was initiated after King refused to provide Doge staffers at the SSA with access to sensitive information. Yeah, clearly she doesn't want something going on, because as we found out, there's over 1 million centenarians listed in Social Security that could have got paid. And I believe at least 100,000 from what I heard that did get paid. And there's only about, I think it said 86,000 centenarians at the last official census or count. So there's something going on, and the fact that the head decides to step down just because they have to show the public and basically reveal to a committee of oversight ran by the government what's been going on and where the funds are going and shit. What do you gotta hide? I say good riddance. If you can't be honest and transparent as the government to your own people, enough for them to understand what's going on and be able to feel like they can trust themselves in their country and the government to not be actively working against them and making policies to stifle their progress. I think we might be able to get a country worth living in, Yep. Baja Bo on Instagram. If you want to get updates on anything, check in there. I believe the only Baja Bo on Twitter, or X now, formerly known as Twitter. And BB Angel Church with Bo on YouTube. BB Angel on all listening platforms except Apple Music. Baja Bo on Apple Music. Have a great week, y'all. If you made it this far, I love you. Thank you for listening. My heart goes out to you. Appreciate y'all. Stay up. Goodbye.